haben. You made it, I see. Brigadier General. I thought the ordeal revolving around the aureola was over, but it looks like it was premature of me. I doubt even Ragnar saw this coming. What about you and the Crossrider, Kevin, did you? Nope, it took us completely by surprise. Although I can't say for sure whether the bigwigs at the top of the congregation for the sacraments had any idea this might happen. I do wonder. Well, I suppose there's no point in debating that now anyway. Let's get down to business. As you know, I'm the third of the Guardians. If you defeat me, you can move on. If you can't, the road ahead will remain forever closed. Of course, you already know as much, don't you? Indeed, we came fully resolved to deal with what we knew was waiting for us. Defeating you will allow me to finally cut down my hesitation and move forward. And for that reason I will hold back nothing. That's what I wanted to hear. It's an honor to be able to test my skills against you, Brigadier General Bright. I look forward to seeing what you can do. I could say the same to you, young lion of the Vanders. Your family is held in high esteem both inside Erebonia and outside. So I'm very curious to see what you can do. I hope not to disappoint you. What's with the funny stare, young lady? You're a real monster, aren't you? I should be able to sense how strong you are. Why can't I? I manipulate both the void and the helix as my form. You might be a genius, but even you won't be able to get a handle on my capabilities too easily. And while I've got the chance, you should drop by our house with Estelle and Joshua sometime. We'd welcome you with open arms. And why would I even want to do that? Well, I think that's enough talking. It's time we got started. As I'm sure you understand already, I couldn't hold back even if I wanted to. Sir Richard, I have only one thing to say. Yes, sir. Defeat me. That is all. I shall. On Silverwing. God. Na, wenn ich sie zusammenhalte, kann ich mich mit Dingensbums auf Heilen konzentrieren mit Kevin. Soll das mal knapp werden? Jesus! Wie fast!
All right, get ready.
Ich glaube, ich brauche eine Wiederbelebung danach. Auf wen geht er? Auf alles, ein Gruppending.
Unbelievable.
Junge, bitte! Du machst dann Attilas auf Richard. Gut. Aber das wird wahrscheinlich wegsterben. Ja. Ja. Please stop. I'm already dead.
I'm sorry.
Please stop. I'm already dead. Please stop it. Please. I can't. Okay. Meep.
All right, what's next?
I think all those rumors about strength are underselling him. We did it! Congratulations, that was a well-earned victory. So, Richard, have you finally been able to clear aside your hesitations? I believe so. No matter where my life may end up taking me, the swordsmanship I learned from you will always have a place in our use. As such, I intend to keep following the path I have chosen for myself, pride in my heart. Well said. Although I can't pretend not to be a tad disappointed if you'd return to the army. If you'd return to the army, I could have piled all my work onto you and Sid. Looks like I'm not going to be able to retire anytime soon. I'm afraid not. But know this, as my final duty as a member of the military, I will resolve this crisis and return everyone to the real world. Have no doubt of that. I'll be counting on you. Regardless, my time here is short. So, I'll make this brief, Kevin. By now you must have a fairly good idea of who the Lord of Phantasma is, correct? Yeah, I just need one last push to be completely certain. I'll probably get that push in the next area too. I see. It's not really my place to say anything more than to you. So I would ask only that you not forget this. No man is an island, no matter how much they may wish to isolate themselves from others. No one can live their life truly alone. Well, we have but one area remaining now. After what we've accomplished here, I'm not sure we have anything to fear. Indeed. Let's head back to the scenic route and check the final monument. That way we can find out what the condition for opening it is. I was already dead. Why did he have to kick me? Dann schauen wir mal kurz da rein. Ansonsten machen wir was anderes. Also, wieder eine Tür.
There is nothing my sword cannot cut.
They say it's what on the internet counts. Now look what you've done. I'm telling my mommy on you. Gut, das waren alle Kisten hier. Das heißt, wir gehen zurück zur Base Area und schauen mal, welche Tür wir als nächstes machen. Welcome back, everyone. You okay, Ren? If you're feeling tired, why don't you rest here in the garden for a bit? All the others are here. You wouldn't be alone. I'm not tired at all. I've just got something on my mind. Something on your mind? Like what? Well, I suppose it can't hurt. Let me give it a try. Paramara! Tatsächlich, er kommt! Ah, I knew you'd come! Paramara, switch to standby mode. Right, that's that. Ren? What? And why do you all look so surprised? This word can be directly influenced by people's thoughts. We've established that much already. So why wouldn't Paramara come for me? I mean, yeah. I mean, true. Essen? Mach mal das. Mal Zeit, dass ich will mal mit Rennen gehen. She's so small. Nummer 11. Machen wir die noch kurz. Those who seek to enter the storm must first overcome a trial. Ja, ja, ja. Du schon wieder. Ja, wenigstens kann Dingesbums nicht versteinert werden. Ah ja, er klaut ja unsere S-Craft, unsere CP. God, I hate this guy. Oh, take Magie immun. Ups.
My soul and sword are as one. Righteous witness. That was the
Das hätte
sword.
böse ausgehen, Kinder. Gott, ich hab Maximum Feuer und Wasser. Läuft. You have overcome the trial. Thus I shall grant you to a memory fragment and my blessing. An investigative report on Phantom Thief B. His crimes, his history, and his true identity. Imperial Chronicle Investigative Team. Phantom Thief B has had quite a lengthy and productive career in the thievery in the Empire, as the amount of records we have been able to find of his crimes prove beyond a doubt. From numerous paintings held in the Imperial Art Gallery, to a septium crystal held in the Empire's customs warehouse, to even a cutting-edge tank held in an Imperial Army research facility. Nothing is truly safe when he decides to steal it. His conquests aren't limited to inanimate objects. He has been guilty of pretending to be a military officer and eloping with the wife of a Marquis on one reported occasion. Yet, and this is perhaps the most baffling part, there is no concrete evidence to suggest he has profited from his exploits. Rather, the objects stolen usually end up in places so bizarre their owners are liable to faint upon hearing about them. In other cases, they are transformed into meteor which is then rained down from the sky in areas largely inhabited by those less fortunate. Hearing this, one might be led to think him a vigilant thief who takes from the rich and giving the poor, but make no mistake. The truth is not so simple. The wife of the Marquis discussed earlier is a fine example of that. As of this writing, it has been a little over half a year since the elopement took place. Since then, she has remained unaccounted for. Many of the items stolen by him may return to the public eye in some fashion, but not all. Between his eccentric techniques and bizarre behavior regarding the objects he steals, it might appear as though the thefts are purely whims and nothing else. Upon studying the overall picture and reviewing the objects and indeed people in play, you begin to see that they all have one specific thing in common. Take the artwork stolen from the Imperial Art Gallery, for example. Each of them were works of pure genius painted by a master of their craft. But they gained a reputation for being too complex for the target audience of such works, the nobility, and were shamefully stored away instead of placed on the display. Similar could be said of the septium crystal. Known for its unparalleled beauty, after being seized by customs, it was sealed away in the warehouse and doomed never to be admired by human eye again. The tank again is one more example. With its promising development cut short, rather than be put to good use, it was left collecting dust. As an aside, the case of the Marquis wife does contain one striking similarities. Despite marrying her, he devoted most of his attention to his concubines and barely spared a thought for her. In conclusion, we can see now that the underlying motive for his actions is finding objects of beauty that have been abandoned by the world and freeing them for their foolish owners. No matter how the world may see his crimes, his motive is clear. The truth of that is evident in the cars he leaves before committing his crimes. This is the so-called liberation of beauty mentioned upon each of them. Phantom Thief B steals not for money, but for an ideal he believes in. And it is in fact, we believe, are clues to his true identity. A number of valid theories have come about of the face behind our famed thief. Unfortunately, they are all lacking in conclusive proof as they are numerous, and so it is impossible to say whether any of them are actually correct. To complicate matters further, we now even have deranged individuals coming forward pretending to be him and allowing themselves to be captured by law enforcement. This is not to say, however, that none of the theories circulating are at all plausible. Here we will introduce three such theories which have developed significant followings and may not turn out to be too far from the truth. Theory 1. Anonymous con artist. X personality. X is known for his exceptional skills as a con artist, having faked his own identity in order to engage in a romantic relationship with many noblewomen. He was as handsome as he was capable, and he was exceptionally proud of nature as well. Born to a poor family in the temperate south, he became used to stealing in order to make the ends meet from a young age. According to testimony from a companion of his at the time, he was never one caught for such theft. The reason X converted from being a common thief to a con artist is believed to have stemmed from falling in love with a noblewoman of much higher social standing than he. The rule of the aristocracy was absolute in the country he called home, and blessed romances between those different classes unthinkable. With that in mind, he resolved to create a false identity to make his dream possible. Following his first rousing success, he came to do the same on a myriad of other occasions, indulging in one forbidden affair after another. It was a mere 10 years ago that he was arrested on suspicion of identity fraud, but he performed a miraculous escape from prison. Ever since then, his whereabouts have remained unknown. Thoughts. Both X's peerless skills as a thief and his interest in forbidden romance with noblewomen sound remarkably like what we now find in Thief B. Also of note is that despite using his abilities of deception to guard those where's wealth, he displayed virtually no interest in their fortune. That is to say, he gained no financial benefit from his actions whatsoever. Instead, he simply lamented that he was unable to indulge in them because of something as trivial as his social class. We conclude that this attitude bears a striking resemblance to the thief's own views on beauty. Tragic artist Y. I was an artist with rather tragic past. Born to a middle-class family in the north, he was hired by an influential aristocrat to be their personal artist, producing many stunning pieces of work. However, it was later discovered that it wasn't all he produced. On the contrary, he was also responsible for a number of counterfeit pieces. The one who hired him sought to profit through ill-mean things to his work, and so he created such counterfeits under the noble's instructions. One day, however, Y suddenly left the noble service. The reason remains unknown. This is where his tragedy begins. Immediately after leaving his kind behind, Y received a terrible piece of news. His lover, the daughter of a respected family, had been killed in a tragic accident. While there is no evidence to prove as much, it is rumored that the noble may have had a hand in her death. Y was only spotted once more at his lover's grave before ever disappearing from the public eye. To those who knew his story, he became known as a truly tragic artist. 7 years later, the noble was murdered. Thoughts. The story of Y still has several unsolved mysteries surrounding it and has invited much speculation, both of which have likely led to the theory that he and Phantom Thief B are one and the same. Those aren't only reasons, naturally. Phantom Thief B has been known at times to try and dispose of counterfeits, believing them to be false beauty. This had led some to believe that Phantom Thief B may be attempting to rid the world of counterfeits that he himself created. Lending further credibility to this is the discovery that the forgeries disposed of Phantom Thief B were indeed the works of Y. Skilled martial artist C. The story of C is significantly different from the other two potential identities we have proposed here, making this an unusual but still plausible possibility. C was born in the Far East as the son of a famed military family. He was an attractive, delicately built young man, but he was far more skilled at martial arts than his fame would have suggested, being blessed with great natural talent. He also possessed a keen, sharp mind, but there was a mild air of arrogance about him too. C was indeed blessed, and nearly everybody. He came from an important family. He had skill, he had looks. And as a result, he came to feel bored with the world around him. He hardly kept such thoughts to him. In fact, he often voiced his complaints to anyone with earshot. These complaints persisted until one day he simply disappeared, telling no one where he was going and leaving nothing to suggest his next destination. Thoughts. Much of this theory is based on the ideas of genius being eccentric by nature. There are some who say that the fighting style of C has some resemblance to the peculiar skills used by Phantom Thief B. But in terms of credibility, the theory is barely a cut above many other similar unusual suggestions. Still, the idea that the man beneath the mask is one from the East is certainly an interesting and exciting one, leading many to wish it were true, even if they find themselves doubting it actually is. That brings us to the end of outlining 3 very different theories. Could X, Y, or Z be the true identity of our famed Phantom Thief? Or is the truth bear of something else entirely? The only way we know for sure is to hear the truth from the man himself. Of course, whether we can trust anything he says is a discussion for another time. After this article was first published, we received a card believed to be from Phantom Thief B himself at our office. The contents of the cards are as follows. The truth of my identity is already within your grasp. My number reveals all. Judging by this, it is believed that one of the 3 theories proposed is the true identity of Phantom Thief B. That said, uncovering the meaning behind his words has proven to be a trying task. Will one valued reader be able to step forward and solve what we cannot? Only time will tell. Okay. Dann gehen wir noch zur Scenic Route und gehen dorthin, wo wir hin müssen. Dann sollten wir... Hi. Wir müssen auch schauen, wie wir brauchen für das letzte. Ich habe Maximum Feuer- und Wasser-Jumps. Ist nice. Da unten vielleicht. Gottverdammt.
My, that was easy.
Wenigstens kann ich fliehen. Nein, das ist gelb. Mein Controller spinnt schon wieder. Ich bin auf alle Fälle zu diesem... Ups, da ist ja noch einer. Ah.
Clouds fall and war May 1,000 thorns adorn your Alright, what's next?
Ah. Kann ich tot machen.
There is nothing my
Ich will doch nur
sword
zum
cannot.
nächsten Monument, zum Weißen. Da oben dann, ne? Nee. Dann da unten. Junge. Okay, hab ich schon aufgemacht. Nein, das ist gut. Dann noch eins weiter.
I'm sorry.
Eat that. Must place I, the Schwarzritter, do decree. Here lies the Black Ark. Place your hands on this monument, the orphan of a lost village among your numbers. What? What? The orphan of a lost village. Well, this is the most obvious one so far. We should head back to the garden and speak to Joshua. We can decide what to do then. Indeed. Heimatmüller. Gut, dann machen wir das nächste Mal weiter, hauen Joshua rein und würde ich sagen, Was das für heute mit Let's Play The Legend of Heroes Traces Sky 3. Und wir sehen uns dann das nächste Mal. Bis dann, Leute. Ciao.